After what's felt like months of theorizing and making video after video on the topic, we now finally know where Momoshiki has been throughout the story of Two Blue Vortex. And honestly, it's something that I kind of predicted a while ago. What's going on, you guys? Welcome on back to the channel. Now, for the uninitiated, if you haven't been on this channel before, I have been making video after video pretty much chronicling where Momoshiki could have been throughout the story of Two Blue Vortex, making theories, making all sorts of content as to where this man has been. But in reality, he hasn't been in the story since the ending of part 1 because Boruto has developed an innate fear of his karma marking. Now, how did this come about? How did Boruto develop this fear of the karma marking? Well, it happened during the time period that we didn't see when Boruto and Sasuke went up against Code. Now, when Sasuke went to attack Code, Boruto awoke with his karma again. But what happened was Boruto felt like he was losing himself. He said that he felt himself dying in a sense. So what Boruto was feeling here was, if I keep using the karma, could Momoshiki come back through it? And essentially, will I lose myself completely if I keep using karma? So I think now Boruto is realizing that karma is more of a parasite than we were made to believe. Because while Sasuke had a mark similar with the curse mark, it gave him all this power. Here, I think the karma marking could essentially consume Boruto, and now that he's using it now, he's more stronger. I could honestly see the karma marking fully consuming him, and that's how Momoshiki comes back. But yeah, so we saw him telling Kawaki all of this. And honestly, we still know that Kawaki doesn't trust him. So I think this opens up the floodgates for how Momoshiki's going to come back. Now, work with me a little bit here. This is something that's probably not going to happen for a year or two from now, maybe even longer. But this is how I think Momoshiki could go back into the story at some point. Now, we know that Boruto has developed a fear for his karma. We saw it a couple chapters ago, which is probably a couple months ago, where Boruto and Kawaki had their little skirmish on the roof. Kawaki activates his karma. Boruto's karma starts to activate through resonance. Boruto gets freaked out and runs away. But as we saw, though, after Boruto ran away, Kawaki clocked that. Now, we know that Boruto ran away here because he's afraid of losing himself to the karma and Momoshiki taking over. But like I said, Kawaki clocked that. So what I think Kawaki's going to do is he's going to sit on this information for a while, right? As we know, Boruto is going to be training Kawaki and getting him up to speed and putting him on probably the same level where he is now. Because Kawaki, we learned through Boruto, Kawaki should have freed Naruto and trained with him. But since Kawaki didn't do that, Boruto has to get him up to speed. So this is the info that Kawaki is going to be sitting on. While they're fighting the Shinju and all that, beating all of them, and once the Shinju threat is eliminated, and Boruto has started to develop goodwill within the village again, that is when I think Kawaki is going to strike. And what I mean by that is, this is when Kawaki will forcibly activate his karma and make it so Boruto can't get away and Momoshiki potentially manifests. Because can you imagine Boruto and Kawaki bonding together again, taking down the Shinju threat? Boruto starting to get goodwill with the village again. Boruto feels like he's got his family back, and then bam, Kawaki flips on him. And then Boruto can't get his standing back in the village. He's not going to be able to get his family back after all that. And Boruto Boruto doesn't flip, but Kawaki flips on him and makes Momoshiki come back through the resonance of the karmas. And then Like, what if he's the reason why the village get destroyed? What if like it's actually Boruto? And like Boruto, because like we always thought it was Kawaki that destroyed the village. But what if that like that's true, but Kawaki is the one that brought Momoshiki back out of Boruto, and Momoshiki is the one that destroyed the village. And like Boruto wakes up on the face of the Hokage monument, looking at all of this carnage, all of this destruction, and that's when the Boruto and Kawaki fight happens, right? Because Kawaki essentially forced Kawaki would essentially have forced all this to happen. Like he essentially waited for this fight to happen more than Boruto, because you got to remember, Boruto has not wanted to fight Kawaki. Boruto doesn't want it. Boruto just wants his brother back. He just wants his family back. He wants everything to go back to the way it was. Kawaki doesn't care about that. Kawaki wants Boruto dead because he represents a threat to Naruto still, because like everybody else, they saw Momoshiki in his true form. But as for Kawaki, he hasn't seen that true form. He's only seen the Borushiki form. So that's all that he can associate Momoshiki with, is Boruto. So like all Kawaki sees now is a threat waiting to come back to the surface. So we're essentially going to see Kawaki force this confrontation again through reactivating the karma and making Momoshiki come out. Like, can you imagine how good of a twist that would be? Not only would it bring back Momoshiki, like a character and a threat that we've been waiting on for a while, but like you get to see Boruto and Kawaki develop a bond again, only for Kawaki to essentially have been playing a long game and like waiting for the perfect moment to strike to bring Momoshiki back out, kill Boruto, and would essentially be labeled as a hero after all that. And so he can keep his standing. Like, I think that would be a really cool twist. And that's how I think Momoshiki is going to come back. He's going to come back for the hands of Kawaki. Someone who Boruto calls a brother. His own brother is going to bring back his biggest threat. His biggest threat to him, and the biggest threat that could affect like him even existing anymore. Because like I said, the karma's a parasite. It's gonna, like, every time it activates now, it's just gonna consume Boruto until there's nothing left. And once there's nothing left, all that's left is Momoshiki. And we don't want it to just be Momoshiki left. So I think that's how he comes back, man. Like, Kawaki forcibly activates his karma. I think that would be such a good twist, man. Like, I think they might do it. Because like I said, Kawaki clocked the hit, like Boruto being afraid of the karma. So that might be in the back of his head now. Because like now after this chapter, people think that, oh, Kawaki and Boruto are on good terms again. Oh yeah, and like they're fighting together for the greater good. No. Boruto thinks that. Boruto thinks they could be like on the same side now. But like I said, Kawaki is probably playing the long game here and just sees this as an easier way to get stronger. And because we all know Kawaki prioritizes strength above all else. He sees this as a quick way to get stronger, hopefully get stronger than Boruto, realistically. Plus, now that we know that Amado has been limiting his power, like, once he gets Amado to release those limiters on him, like, all bets are going to be off. So, like, he's going to get stronger, plus training from Boruto. He might become stronger than Boruto. And that's why when Boruto, like, has to go up against Kawaki, that's why he finally activates Karma again. And that's why he finally activates Jougan, something he hasn't activated since he was a child, because he sees no other option left. So even though Kawaki forcibly potentially brings out Momoshiki in him, this time he'll be using Karma he'll be using Karma his own way, and using it in his own way to beat his brother. And that's how I think the Battle of Brothers will happen, and ultimately how Momoshiki manifests. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. How do you guys think that Momoshiki can come back? Do you guys think similar to me, where it might be like Kawaki forcibly activates the karma and like pretty much like betrays Boruto? Or do you think it's going to be something completely different, something that we haven't even seen yet? Let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe. And as always, I'm going to talk to you guys next time. Bye.